Hello, I am the Dark Fae, and welcome back to Confessions of a First Time Dungeon Master. As always, if you missed the last session, I will put a link to it for you up in the corner over here. You can go check it out, catch up on what you missed, come back, and see what happened next. This is now, I believe, session 26, so let's get started. Okay, so this one might be a little bit of a short one because it was mostly like a mini-boss, like combat session. So basically in the morning, they didn't really have much else to prepare, so they just briefly talked to the crew, and the Earl kind of let them know what the plan was, and then the Earl they had set up like a ceremony for a sacrifice to Trin and Seros, very a la Vikings-esque, where they basically kind of decapitated like a young bull in sacrifice to Trin the Allfather and Seros for safe passage across the seas and a safe return. So I really enjoy this accent, and I'm sad when they leave Volga. They might be going on a ship, so maybe I'll get to keep doing the accent. But so after kind of the sacrifice, I did keep the ceremony kind of short because I didn't want to take up too much time with kind of world flair, as that is sense. I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to balance like how much detail of the world that I give them and stuff like that. So I don't want to like bore them, but I do want to give things their own flavor and their own like cultures. So after the ceremony, they jumped on the ship and headed out. I was like really excited for this encounter, but then while doing it, I think because there was like a lot of like mechanics that I needed to explain and stuff, I just felt like it was a lot of talking for me, so I got very tired very quickly. But there were like a few things that I needed to clear up with them. One was like with the spell Water Walk. Because after doing some research, I had seen, because Water Walk is not a concentration spell, it's not something that the caster can kind of drop in an instant. So I know a lot of the time when people cast Water Walk, they kind of say that like the ground is solid for pretty much the duration. But since it's like an ability and it's not something that can be dropped by the caster, I ruled that it was kind of a choice whether you wanted to walk on water or not. So you could submerge, but the spell does not like bring you up to the surface if you are submerged. And like if you are underwater and come out to the surface, that's the equivalent of like being prone. So it would take half of your movement to then stand up onto the water. And depending on the effect, or if like a creature drags you down, the Water Walk ability may or may not apply. You might have to roll to see if you can keep your balance on the surface or fall inwards, etc. But it didn't really come up, so that was okay. So basically, they set off on the ship, and this ship is fairly large. I said that there is Kartab, the captain, and then about 12 other crew members, so that way, at least on one side of the ship, there would be enough crew to man the ballistas on each side. So there are 4 ballistas, which are basically, I rolled as like kind of giant crossbows in this case, and it takes an action to load, an action to aim, and an action to fire. So if the ballista get damaged, or if some of the crew members perish, it will be more difficult to load and reload. I think probably should have pared it down to 3, because like during combat, so much going on, I wasn't really doing a good job of keeping track of like 12 crew members and 8 ballistas and their various states of damage and like load unload situation. I think that's part of the reason why I got a bit tired. It was a lot to keep track of. But anyways, my party did very well actually. So and I think my like original plan I kind of did away with my original plan, and instead of kind of having the dragon eel submerged and like attacking the ship until they found a way to bring it up. I was kind of a bit nicer about it, and like after a couple hits on the ship, it kind of became visible to them now that it's not stealthing, it's actually attacking, and they could kind of see it offshore. So the way, or not offshore, like off the side of the boat. So kind of the way that it went, I think the ballistas actually helped them a lot more than I had originally thought. Since each one does 3d10 damage on a hit, it is only a +6 to hit. So with an armor class of 18, I can, I guess, put the dragon eel stats here if you're curious on how I kind of ported them from, I think, 3rd edition Monster Manual. But with an AC of 18, that means like roughly 11 and below misses, 12 and above hits. I did say that like for ballistas, if they took damage, which is possible, they all have their own separate AC and their own HP. If they take damage, then I give that a penalty to become +3 to hit, which would then be a 14 and below misses. I probably should have scaled that back a little bit, but I liked having the ballistas there because it gave the fighters, a lot of them who don't have range and who don't have a way to really deal damage, it gave them something that they could help with and do to help take this beast down. So I had a lot of different avenues planned. I had a map for them on the ship, which is what I thought they would do. I also, just in case, had a map planned for like underwater, and then if they wanted to fight like below the water, which is probably not as good, honestly. Would have probably gotten some of them killed. I probably didn't play the dragon eel as well as I could have. I think actually it does better in I think in close quarters than in its kind of ranged attacks, because its bite can paralyze you and that can end up doing a lot of damage. But I think the thing that for the party that really helped was Valkyrie turning into a giant snake. And for a giant constrictor snake, like if you hit with a constrict, you automatically grapple and restrain the target. So being restrained was really a sore point for the dragon eel, because then it can't use its 50 feet of movement in the water, and it can't really... It would have to like waste an action to get free unless it's able to bite and paralyze the target or the grappler. So mostly I did, however, get 3 of its boiling breaths off. Normally they're like a recharge 5 to 6, and I rolled a 5, and a 6 like on the first time, so it kind of got it back to back to back. The first one I think did like 37 damage. The second one was like 41. Third one, I don't remember. It was also, I think, in the 40s, which is above average for 7d10, I think. So, but basically, yeah, it ended up kind of relying on its boiling breath. I think if not for the boiling breath recharge, I would have played it so that it tried to get out of the restraint sooner and then kind of close in on some of the members who are like on the borders of the ship. I think I would have done that, but because it had the breath, I was like kind of weighing, and I went with boiling breath. Yeah, so after a bevy of ballista shots and eventually the dragon eel gets away from Valkyrie and a giant snake, he actually does enough damage to drop her form with the bite and the tail slap, because you're paralyzed and it hits you. It's an auto crit. So it did enough damage to make her drop her form, and then kind of swam away for a bit and blasted them again with another boiling breath. But let's see what else happened. One thing I got to reveal during this, Basil, our bird, who actually did go down in the fight. When he was really low, he used his potion of healing, and that potion of healing is one that he got from the hag cottage, and it's not a potion of healing at all. It's a potion of poison. So that brought him down to, I think, 9 HP. He was at like 25. No, he was at 22. Did 13 points of damage. got him down to 9. Luckily, our cleric had lesser restoration prepped and was able to cure him of the poison. Otherwise, I would have done another, I think, 3d6 damage at the start of his turn, reduced if he makes a saving throw, but he did not make it. So yeah, so that was a fun reveal that I got to do. The party was like, oh, this is on Liddy, who the apothecary who had appraised their potions, and I was like, no, you guys never gave it to Liddy to appraise. You only gave her the 4 unknowns, and you kept the last one, so don't trust everything you find in a hag's cottage. Anyways, so eventually, after much ballista firing and spells cast and some octopi were conjured by Valkyrie, and they too have that annoying trait where they hit and restrain. So eventually Umric, a bit fed up with these boiling breaths, he kind of jumps overboard with his water walk and then does a level 3 inflict wounds, channels divinity to deal an extra 17 points of necrotic damage, which is like 46 points total, something, and kills the creature. So with it dead, they're able to kind of hollow the board. I think most of them got pretty low. The ones on the ship, at least, who were hit by the boiling breath, they had to do a lot of kind of heals during the battle in order to stay up. They have a little bit more healing than I expected. I think I can hit them harder next time. And I think this battle too is like the having a single creature in an encounter is definitely like gives the creature or the enemy side like disadvantage when facing 5+ other creatures in initiative. Definitely feel that one large giant beast is a much easier encounter than a lot of like little small ones. Like even the bandits and like the wolves that I had done before Bolga felt more effective than this giant creature. Not that I don't like playing giant creatures, I do, and now I know how to scale them a little bit more. But unless they have, I think, like lair actions or legendary actions, it feels very difficult to have like do enough in like the one turn to make it a serious battle. At least that's from my perspective. At least I think they thought it was pretty difficult with the three breaths. So, but yeah, they were able to get out of it pretty fine. Some of the crew didn't really survive. I wasn't like hard keeping track, but a lot of them got hit by the streams of boiling water. So I said about like half the crew had perished, and then so as they make their way back to Bolga, Umric just kind of like dumps all of his heals into the remaining crew, and that's kind of where we left it to when they kind of arrived back at the harbor. So for next session, I'll get to prep some interesting stuff, the next leg of their journey, because it's been about a week since they left the Siskoran Keep. Vernay is due to actually give them a message, so I don't know if they'll be interested in that pothook or if they want to continue on with going on the water back up to Elith Malar, so I'll probably be prepping both of those, just in case. But yeah, the next leg of the journey is upon them after defeating this large dragon eel. Who knows if there's another larger mama dragon eel waiting for them, upset that it's lost its baby, but you never know. But yeah, that is what happened in session 26. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe for more videos. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!